Have you ever walked away from a conversation thinking, what on earth did they really mean by that? You're not alone. We're often told to read between the lines. But what if you had the actual scientific tools to see what's really driving people? Most of us think human behavior is complicated, chaotic, and totally unpredictable. We blame actions on personality or a bad mood, and when we can't figure people out, we get frustrated and miss opportunities. But what if I told you that most behavior isn't random at all? It's a system. Human action is usually a response to the world, and it follows predictable rules. The science of understanding these rules is called behavioral analysis. And in this video, I'm pulling back the curtain on the core techniques these analysts use. This isn't pop psychology, it's evidence-based science. By the end, you'll have a powerful advantage in your social and professional life. The first step is to stop assuming people are a mystery and start looking for the pattern. If you only remember one thing from this video, make it this. The ABC model is the foundation of behavioral analysis, a simple framework that takes you from confused to crystal clear. ABC stands for antecedent, behavior, and consequence. First, you have A, antecedent. This is the trigger. It's whatever happens right before the behavior. Was it a question? A new person walking into the room? A notification on a phone? The antecedent sets the stage. Next, you have B, behavior. This is the action you can actually see or hear. It's not your interpretation, it's the raw data. Not, he was being a jerk, but he looked at his phone while I was talking. Be a detective. What did you actually see? Finally, and most importantly, you have C, consequence. This is what happens immediately after the behavior. The consequence determines if that behavior will happen again. Let's use it. Imagine a coworker, John, who never speaks up in big meetings. You might just write him off as shy. But let's apply the ABCs. Antecedent. The boss asks, "Any feedback on this proposal?" Behavior. John stays silent and looks down. Consequence. The meeting moves on, and John avoids having his ideas challenged. See what's happening? The consequence is a reward. John gets to escape an uncomfortable situation. His anxiety goes down. His brain just learned, silence equals safety. His behavior isn't just a personality trait. It's a learned action that gets him something he wants. This simple, observable loop is running all around you, all the time. The ABC model shows you the pattern. The next step is to understand the engine that makes it all run. This is a core principle in psychology called operant conditioning. The idea is simple. Behavior is shaped by what happens next. Actions followed by good things happen more often. Actions followed by bad things happen less often. Every persistent behavior has a payoff. If there were no payoff, it would eventually stop. Your job as a behavior decoder is to find it. There are two main types of payoffs, or reinforcements. First, there's positive reinforcement. This is when something good is added after a behavior. It's straightforward. An employee works late and gets praise from their boss. They're more likely to work late again. You post a photo and get a flood of likes. You're more likely to post again. But the second type is sneakier and often more powerful. Negative reinforcement. This is when something bad is removed after a behavior. This isn't punishment, it's about relief. Think about the annoying seatbelt alarm in your car. It beeps and beeps until you buckle up. The behavior, buckling up, removes the annoying sound, the consequence. You've been trained to buckle up just to get relief. The person who avoids a difficult conversation by checking their phone is using negative reinforcement. The behavior, checking the phone, removes the bad feeling of social anxiety. So, to decode what's going on, stop asking, why would they do that? And start asking, what's the payoff? Are they getting something good or escaping something they dread? If you're already having some light bulb moments, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're about to go even deeper. We know behavior is a learned loop driven by a payoff, but can we get more specific? Yes, behavioral analysts have found that most actions serve one of just 4 main functions. A great way to remember them is the acronym SEAT. S is for sensory. The behavior just feels good or meets an internal need. This is you mindlessly scrolling TikTok, bouncing your leg, or clicking a pen. The behavior itself is its own reward. It's either self-soothing or self-stimulating. E is for escape. The behavior helps a person get out of or avoid something unpleasant. This is a huge driver of confusing behavior. The student who acts up before a tough math lesson is trying to get sent to the hall to escape the work. The employee who keeps missing deadlines for a project they hate is avoiding the stress of doing it. A is for attention. The behavior is all about getting focus from other people, and it can be positive or negative attention. The kid who shows off a good report card is looking for praise, but the person who constantly complains about their problems might be looking for sympathy. When a behavior makes no sense, ask yourself, does it always result in people paying attention to them? T is for tangible. The behavior helps the person get a specific item or activity. This is the classic kid throwing a tantrum to get a toy. But it happens with adults too. The employee who butters up their boss with compliments might be trying to get access to a better project. The next time someone's actions have you stumped, run it through the SEAT filter. Are they trying to escape something? Get attention? Get something tangible? Or is it just for a sensory need? The real motivation is almost always in one of those 4 boxes. For most of your life, you may have felt like a spectator, watching the confusing game of human behavior. But you don't have to be. Behavior isn't some unsolvable mystery. It's a code. And now you have the keys to start cracking it. Today, we covered the core tools. The ABC model, your key for breaking down any action. Operant conditioning, the engine driving behavior. And the 4 functions, SEAT, your map to the ultimate motive. The big shift is to go from guessing to observing. Stop making up stories about why people do what they do and start looking at the observable patterns. What happens before? What happens after? What's the real payoff? When you start thinking like a behavioral analyst, you stop being reactive and start becoming predictive. You gain an edge in negotiations, in leadership, and in your relationships. You stop being confused by the world and start understanding it. That's a superpower, and now you have it. What's the most baffling behavior you've ever had to deal with? Drop it in the comments below, and let's see if we can decode it together using the ABC model. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the science of human nature.